All right, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks. Gonna do a little quick one here with myself and Tim. We're just gonna do NFL recap on the divisional games and then some coaching news and then updated predictions for the championship games. So I guess we can start off with the games from the divisional round. So Ravens beat the Texans 34-10. Looked like it might be close, and then after half, the Ravens kind of pulled away in that one.
Yeah, you kind of expected it. Nice run for the Texans, though. Fun
Yeah,
season.
yeah. Lions beat the Bucks 31-23. I mean, I'll give the Bucks credit. They fought in that game. They were in it till like the last six minutes or so, and then the Lions pulled
But they
away.
stink.
But but
And
they
that's
stink.
what makes the Eagles look worse.
And then we had the Chiefs beat the Bills in a pretty good game, 27-24. Bills missed the last second field goal to tie. A lot of
Listen, I don't advocate for any death threats, and I think it sucks that the guy probably got numerous, but I'd be furious if I was a Bill fan. Like, oh, I know there's there's the Packers kicker who just missed it because he has no accuracy and he just has a leg for days. But Bass just clearly just missed it because the moment was too big for him.
Oh yeah, it was tough. I did see that he like people started donating to like a cat charity that he does, because people were giving him death threats. So at least some people are kind and caring. It is just a game, and people have lives and families. So, but then the most painful game to watch, at least for us Eagles fans, was the 49ers beat the Packers 24-21. Man, I was so ready to sing about how average Purdy is and Packers out of nowhere, and they just blew it at the end. They had this game the whole time and then just
Yeah,
fucking blew it at the end.
it's a young team. That again, another kicking
Very
blunder.
surprising.
I mean, this guy, like, he's got a leg for days, but like, if your coach is saying, yeah, I just kind of pray whenever he goes out
Yeah, that's
there, there's
bad.
like two positions in sports, the kicker and closer in baseball. Like, if you have to pray when they go out there, you need a new one.
Yeah.
So, very, very interesting that they never decided to change that because kickers get passed around but like a viral disease. There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, it did not go well for them. But so the matchups now, we have obviously four teams left. We got Chiefs and the Ravens. That's on Sunday at 3 o'clock. And then Lions at the 49ers is the 6:30 game for the NFC side. Um, these are good matchups. Obviously the Lions 49ers is going to be interesting because I mean the Lions have a little bit of like I don't know what the word is, like definitely momentum, but they have like this like grit to them right now where they're like just all buying in at the same time. You got Zach Ertz
Yeah,
getting signed on for some somewhat ring
I
chasing,
don't.
but also they need depth
Yeah,
at tight
whatever.
end. But I don't know. I would not be surprised if the Lions won. I really
I
wouldn't.
mean, nice paycheck. Take it when you can. I Like one, I don't care what anyone says. He did not look good. I still not bought into Purdy. But the big thing for me is their pass rush didn't get after Jordan Love at all. And now you're
No.
going to go against the best offensive line, arguably the best offensive line in football. If the Lions like to get in shootouts, I know the Niners defense isn't bad, but I think if they can neutralize the pass rush like the Packers did against the Niners, this shootout could go the Lions' way.
Yeah, and I think the 49ers, well, it's tough. I think the Packers probably have a better defense than the Lions. Um, but
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think this is probably a little just bit of me being biased and hating the 49ers, but I'm gonna pick the Lions. I think they got so much momentum right now, and I think again, I think the 49ers just based on the way that they played the Packers, like they think they are this untouchable team with all this talent. And I think they undervalued the skill level of the Packers, and the Packers came out and gave them a run for their money.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, there's the argument of 2 weeks off. Was there how much rust was that?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I still think, I mean, listen, they ran the ball very well against the Niners. There was no pass rush. Wait until they see Detroit's offensive line. I think Detroit's going to bully them on the line, and I think they could win. I'm riding with it. To the line, and I'm still not sold on Brock Purdy in a big moment. We haven't seen him in any real big games yet. Not sold on selling point game. I didn't think he was all that great.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's pointing out, oh, well, he led a game-winning drive. I'm like, I could lead a game-winning drive with Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle in that line too. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. I
we'll
mean, I'll
see.
give him credit. Like, he played well when it needed to, but overall, he was very average. Like, he didn't do anything that was. He had two interceptions that were dropped, one in the end zone, and then a pick six that was dropped. So they got
Yeah,
lucky.
you can't drop those moments. But on the AFC side, we have a heavyweight battle,
Oh
which
yeah.
I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah.
And I have to think that everyone's a Baltimore Ravens fan because there's no bigger like pop cultural moments in the world than the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift. If they come together, it might, oh jeez, it's going to be nuts. I really hope the Ravens win. I think the Ravens do win. I think their defense is going to give the Chiefs offense some problems. I think specifically, I don't know what the status on Humphrey is, but I think specifically the secondary and the linebackers could be an issue for a Chiefs wide receiver group that isn't very good. I know
Hmm.
Mahomes is amazing, but he's going to go up against a great defense, and I don't think he has the talent around him to really win. Pacheco, though, he's pissed off every time he touches the ball.
He's hilarious, but it's just he runs like I can't even explain it. There's all the memes killed me too of like describing how he runs. But yeah, he's that. Hey, he's got the burst. I mean, if you can run that hard, go for it.
Oh yeah,
But
he's violent.
yeah, I think I'm gonna go Ravens here too. I think I think it's Lamar and the Ravens' time to make it to the Super Bowl again. Well, Lamar's first time, but John Harbaugh. And I think if the Super Bowl ends up being Chiefs and Lions, then we might be looking at rigged territory because I mean you got a team that has obviously Taylor Swift, which is going to attract tons of viewers, tons of eyes, and social media engagement. And then you have the Lions who have never been in a Super Bowl. Their fan base is going ape shit. So it'll be interesting, but I think Baltimore will get it figured out. And I mean, I don't know what Debo Samuel's status is, but if he doesn't play, that's also a blow for the Niners. So
I
we'll
mean, low
see.
key, the Chiefs and Lions matchup would kind of give me vibes of Super Bowl 52. The Chiefs are like, they're becoming the dynasty that takes over from Patriots. Like their recent success is insane. And the Lions, I mean, the Eagles were never as bad as the Lions, but the Eagles got their first championship. They were playing with a quarterback that's being resurged, a former player as a coach. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I really
Yeah,
hope the
I
Chiefs don't make
mean,
it though.
I know a lot of Eagles fans are like, you can't like the Chiefs because they beat us in the Super Bowl. But I mean, I still like Andy Reid. I mean, I'm not a
I don't care. I am not rooting for the Chiefs. I
okay.
would
Well,
love to see them lose.
okay. Well, there you go. So that's our predictions. We both have Baltimore versus Detroit in the Super Bowl. I think that would be an awesome Super Bowl. Um, just Detroit in general, just a great story right now. Um, so we shall see. And then as far as head coach things going on, so I mean our birds obviously Sirianni's staying as head coach. A lot of fans are upset. A lot of fans like myself think it was the right call because he did get us to the Super Bowl only a year ago. He's only entering his
Yeah.
fourth year now. Let's pump the brakes. Um, and then Brian Johnson was fired. Sean Desai was fired. Matt Patricia's gone. So all new coordinator openings, and allegedly we are hiring Vic Fangio as defensive coordinator. Makes sense because the scheme we run is literally his scheme. Um, and his family's from PA, which that was like a weird
I
reason
didn't
that the
know.
Dolphins let him go. They
I
said
mean, I
like,
guess I don't know. For all the mumblings that have come out since, it doesn't seem like Miami really, Tim and Miami really a good mixture.
I don't know. Apparently, like from what I'm hearing, apparently the Eagles wanted to hire Fangio last year for DC because they thought they were going to lose Jonathan Gannon, but then Gannon wasn't hired to be the Cardinals coach right away. So then Fangio decided to take a role with the Dolphins, and then so on and so forth. But
Right, how quickly that thing went sour, and you got players mumbling that they didn't like his system or whatever. You curious to think why a coach with caliber even went to Miami, but I mean,
yeah,
it's not sexy, it's not up and coming. I think it's okay. I think you need someone to right the ship. I think you need someone veteran that's going to get it together because we know Nick is probably best with less coaching duties.
yeah.
So bringing a guy that's going to be there, he's going to know what he's going to do.
I think if they were going to
But
stay with this defensive system, that this was the only hire that made sense. Otherwise, you're changing a
Yeah.
system.
Well, I
Your
mean,
players are
otherwise
having
you're
to
overhauling
learn.
the whole
Yeah,
roster.
yeah,
And I mean, again, we rolled the dice on a proven one with Desai. It didn't work. I know it worked for Gannon, whether, whatever your feelings about him are, but I'm fine with them bringing a veteran. Nothing sexy, nothing exciting, but
yeah. Offensive coordinator is still open. We don't know. A lot of names floating around, but elsewhere,
again, I mean, I think Reich would make sense in a similar kind of fashion.
yeah. I
Nothing
mean, Reich,
super sexy, nothing out of control.
Reich's been a
Sirianni knows
name.
him well, and Reich could handle a game plan.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury's been a name. Um, we'll see. I don't. As long as they make a good thing and the offense isn't getting like completely overhauled, because in their press conference, Sirianni was like, "Oh, we want new ideas. We want new ideas." So we'll see. But um, other head coach openings. So the Seahawks still have an opening as of today, which is Thursday the 25th. My God, we're almost in February. Um, I haven't really heard any rumor. I mean, Vrabel, I suppose, is a candidate for them. Maybe Dan Quinn, but it kind of feels like Dan Quinn's staying in Dallas now, which is surprising.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought for sure he would. Yeah, the Seahawks job seemed to make too much sense. Almost like made so much
yeah,
sense. Like this is why you're moving on Pete Carroll. But I mean, the names that I think are going to be to watch. It seems like the Lions. They might lose both their coordinators.
yeah,
I mean, there's clearly, we always know that it was like last year when the Colts and the Cardinals clearly were waiting. The coordinators, we kind of knew they were both going already before the game even started. But it seems like, with the line still being there and there still being what, two head coaching jobs left, I think now. It makes you think the Lions coordinators who were getting the most carry are probably in the mix heavily for these, or at least the front runners.
yeah. I could see the Lions offensive coordinator going to Washington. Like that seems like a fit. Um, but yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It feels like a weird like coaching hiring that's been going on lately. Like we had so many like big names and like I feel like a lot of younger guys are getting shots or guys are getting second shots. Like the who was it? The Falcons hired Raheem Morris, who I believe was the Buccaneers coach a while back. Um
He was, yeah. That one, I got to be honest, that was the biggest head scratcher for me because
yeah,
so part of me understands you had an offensive coach, so you go the opposite way. I get that, but
but defensive
teams like,
coaches haven't worked.
look at teams like the Panthers and the Titans. They both brought in offensive coordinators that have hands-on experience with, quarterbacks because
Yeah.
they both are looking at young quarterbacks. You got Bryce Young, and you have to think Tannehill's moving on. You're going to go Will Levis. So I think it makes sense naturally if you don't have the quarterback to bring in an offensive mind to work with a quarterback and develop them. The
Mm.
Falcons clearly don't have one and clearly need one. So it seems odd to go with a defensive minded coach when you're still like, I think that's your biggest issue. The defense was much better last year than it had been in previous years. You have weapons, you need to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I just think going on offensive would have made more sense. But, we'll see. That one was the biggest head scratcher. The other ones, I think what you saw for sure is a lot of up and comers.
Yeah, I
Everyone's
mean
getting
Panthers hired the Bucks offensive coordinator, Dave Canales, which was that was pretty surprising.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I get the reasoning. He's worked with a whole bunch of different quarterbacks who's had success, different players, but I don't know. I mean, revitalizing Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield to, I guess, league average standard. Like, were they any even close to elite? Like, they were kind of just average.
Yeah, I feel like Frank Reich was a better option to develop a quarterback than this guy, but
Yeah, that one. I just think there was a lot better offensive minds, I think, out there to have gone with. If clearly that was your idea and that was your
uh,
game plan. But I mean, what are you gonna do?
Um, then we have the Chargers got Jim Harbaugh. I think that was probably the most predictable one. Pretty
I think
interesting.
it makes sense.
I didn't realize that so Harbaugh played college football at Michigan, then obviously coached Michigan. He also played in the NFL for the Chargers as a quarterback. Now he's coaching the Chargers. So that's a kind of cool little tidbit there. But
And
yeah, I think
also, well, go ahead.
I honestly don't know what I was going to say.
I think Jim Harbaugh has the greatest timing in the world. And to do it on a team that has already got a franchise quarterback, a pretty good roster.
Hmm.
And I mean, the fan base is a joke, but Harbaugh's a name that's going to sell tickets and bring people in.
All four of their fans.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want him to leave Michigan to be like the Panthers coach. The Chargers, yeah, I'll give that a shot.
Yeah. Um,
It's like when
Titans.
Urban left for Trevor Lawrence. Very similar.
Oh, yeah. Well, Urban was just trying to get a cash grab. He had no desire to play to coach in the league.
We just kind of figured
Um,
I just stumbled into a generational quarterback. Let's do it.
well. And then the Titans obviously fired Mike Vrabel, and then they hired Brian Callahan, who since I believe he was Cincinnati's offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That one I could see that one. Like he did some good stuff with a backup quarterback, and obviously had Joe Burrow. So that
No, I mean, I
one's
think Browning really put him on, made him look more excited. We all know Burrow, but Browning played pretty well. That one
yeah,
makes sense. The Panthers is like the watered down version of that thinking.
yeah. It just
I get the
doesn't
thinking, but like Geno Smith and Baker, like I don't know. Is he going to make Bryce Young a
unless
league average guy?
unless they just wanted like a young, sexy, you know, name that was like not going to be some
Was it a
veteran
sexy name?
coach. No, it's not a sexy name,
I didn't even know the guy beforehand.
but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That franchise is a bit of a train wreck.
Yeah, you're right
Um,
about that.
then we have the Patriots. Obviously, you had Gerard Mayo promoted to head coach. I think
That one was
makes
obvious.
yeah, it makes sense. Nothing really shocking there. And then the Raiders made the right decision. They didn't Raider themselves. Um, they hired Antonio Pierce as the head coach from being the GM, the
It's good to see because no
interim.
interim coaches never get a head coaching job, it seems like. And some have been pretty successful. And
Particularly on
I
the
never
Raiders.
understand why. Yeah, I never really understand why, but good for Antonio Pierce. I mean, it's clear the team, I mean, the team and players would have been furious. It
Well,
seemed
yeah,
pretty clear that they were going to have to do this.
yeah. Max Crosby's like, if you don't hire him, I'm getting traded.
I mean, what are you going
I'm
to
not
do?
playing.
Bring a new coach in that all the players are going to, just naturally hate because they wanted the other guy?
Yeah. But that is a
Yeah.
wrap up for now. Like I said, Seattle's still open. Who else? Seattle, Washington. I think those are the only two, which is surprising. So that means Vrabel and Belichick are still available. Do you think either of those go to Seattle or Washington?
You know what? Honestly, I don't. I think you're seeing in this coaching cycle, everyone's going with the, young guys, the inexperienced guys, the unknown, besides for Raheem Morris, which I think has been the surprising hire so far. But
Hmm.
um, I don't know. It just neither opportunity strikes me as like those are three names that I think can wait, like say Harbaugh, who's been in the NFL circles rumors for a while, waited for a good opportunity to pop up with a team that has a quarterback that has a decent roster, and then pounced. I wouldn't be surprised to see those three maybe sit out and see what next year looks like. Although Pete looks like he's going to stay with the Seahawks in some capacity. Bill, I mean, I don't know. Bill's the curious one because Bill's obviously older. If he sits out, is he going to come back? But I mean, at this point, you see what happens. If Bill Belichick's applying, there's going to be interest. So,
Yeah. Belichick not. I wonder if he like doesn't get a job he likes. He's just like, man, I think I'm done.
I
Like
mean, what are you going to like? You're
he's
Bill
nothing to
Belichick. Do
prove
you
at
really
this
want to
point.
go? Like, do you really want to go to another
Tarnisher.
team and hurt your legacy more? I wouldn't say
Yeah.
hurt your legacy, but like, you've already got the you're nothing without Brady kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Do you really want to just rush into, say, an Atlanta Falcons team who runs out, I don't know, Baker Mayfield or Desmond Ritter or a rookie and struggles immediately? I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think he waits and just for the right opportunity. But because you have to think, Belichick got fired or parted ways pretty late in the cycle. Let him start the cycle as a free agent. Let the firings happen in season. Some teams will begin almost like Milwaukee Bucks. Some teams next year will have the conversation like, all right, you know, let's move on with him because we know we can get Bill Belichick.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, he's like 72, isn't he? Or 62? I forget.
I mean, again, he
He's in
doesn't strike me as a
70s.
guy that does anything else outside of football. So
Oh no.
we'll see.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, like I said, a little quick episode covering coaching changes, playoffs. But like I said, Tim and I both think Baltimore, Detroit, Super Bowl. That would be a lot of fun. So
I'm
we
for it.
will see. We will see. But until then, everybody have a good one and stay safe. Everyone's getting sick. So lots of water.
Peace.
Peace.